Scout automobile, welcome to back. Close your eyes and imagine a machine that does not belong to the present roads. A machine that feels like it has broken free from the boundaries of time, where the golden era of American muscle meets a futuristic design language that has never been seen before. This is not just a car, this is a rebirth of an attitude, a legend reimagined, a name that echoes power across generations. This is the 2026 Pontiac Judge GTO concept. Now picture the scene. A dark studio illuminated only by a soft, cold white glow. The silence is heavy, and then slowly you hear it. A low, aggressive rumble building from nowhere. The sound is not just an engine, it feels like thunder trapped inside steel. First, start with the rear view of the car. The back of the 2026 Pontiac Judge GTO concept stands like a wall of authority. Wide stance, deeply carved aerodynamic lines, and a bold illuminated strip stretching across the entire width. The GTO emblem sits at the center like a signature of dominance. The exhausts are not just pipes, they are sculpted outlets of controlled fury, integrated into a carbon fiber diffuser that looks like it belongs on a track-dominating prototype. Every angle at the rear feels intentional, like the car is always ready to launch forward even when standing still. The taillights glow with a sharp red intensity, slicing through the darkness like laser blades. There is no softness here. Everything is sharp, muscular, and aggressive. Even the surface around the rear bumper feels like it has been stretched under tension, ready to release power at any moment. Then move to the front view of the car. The front of the 2026 Pontiac Judge GTO concept is where emotion turns into intimidation. The grille is wide, low, and aggressive, with a modern interpretation of the classic Pontiac split identity. The headlights are razor-thin LED units that look like they are constantly watching, judging every movement in front of them. There is a presence here that feels almost alive. The hood is long and sculpted, with deep vents that suggest the massive power hiding underneath. Each line on the hood flows backward like air is being forced to obey the shape of the machine. The front splitter hugs the ground, giving the impression that the car is ready to attack the asphalt. And in the center, the badge stands quietly but confidently. Not loud, not oversized, just enough to remind you that this is not an ordinary machine. This is a Judge GTO reborn for a new era. Now shift to the front left side angle. From this angle, the full character of the 2026 Pontiac Judge GTO concept becomes even more dramatic. The long hood stretches forward like a predator leaning into a sprint. The front fender is wide and muscular, filled with subtle air channels that guide airflow along the body with precision. The wheels are massive, performance-oriented alloys with a deep concave design. Behind them, you can see large brake calipers waiting to control the raw speed this machine is capable of unleashing. The stance is low, aggressive, and planted, like it refuses to leave the ground no matter how fast it goes. The side profile carries a perfect balance between retro muscle proportions and futuristic aerodynamics. A faint character line runs across the body, not too sharp, not too soft, just enough to give the illusion of motion even when the car is still. The mirrors are replaced with slim digital units, almost invisible from a distance, keeping the design clean and modern. Next, move to the front right side. From the right angle, the design feels slightly different. Almost like the car has another personality depending on how you view it. The lighting plays with the body curves, revealing hidden sculpted surfaces that were not visible before. The reflections move like liquid metal across the paint. You notice the precision in every panel gap, every aerodynamic cut, every vent placement. The car doesn't just look designed, it looks engineered with obsession. The front right wheel sits slightly turned, giving it a ready-to-pounce posture. It feels like at any moment, it could launch forward and disappear in a blur of sound and speed. The windshield is steep and aggressive, flowing seamlessly into the roofline. The roof itself is slightly lowered compared to classic muscle proportions, giving it a coupe-like aerodynamic identity while still preserving that raw GTO heritage spirit. Then move inside to the interior dashboard view. As you step into the cabin of the 2026 Pontiac Judge GTO concept, the world outside disappears completely. The interior is not just designed for driving, it is designed for control. Everything is angled toward the driver. The cockpit feels like a fighter jet merged with a luxury performance machine. The dashboard is minimal yet powerful. A wide digital display stretches across the front, showing essential driving data, performance stats, and adaptive driving modes. The steering wheel is compact, flat-bottomed, and wrapped in performance leather with subtle carbon fiber touches. Ambient lighting flows softly through the cabin, highlighting edges and surfaces without distracting from the driving experience. The seats are deep bucket-style performance seats, designed to hold the driver firmly during extreme acceleration and cornering. Every control is placed with intention. There is no clutter, no unnecessary distraction, just pure driving focus. Even the air vents are hidden within the structure, maintaining a clean and futuristic aesthetic. The feeling inside is not comfort alone, it is control, dominance and connection with the machine. Then come back to the rear left side angle. From the rear left perspective, the car looks even more athletic. The wide body design becomes more obvious here. The rear fender bulges aggressively, giving the car a powerful, grounded stance. The tire width and track width are clearly visible, reinforcing its performance identity. The carbon diffuser wraps under the car like armor. The exhaust outlets glow faintly as if heat is always present, even when the engine is calm. The reflections on the body show every curve working together to guide airflow with precision. There is a sense that this machine is not built for standing still. It looks impatient, like it wants to move, to run, to dominate open roads and empty highways. Finally, finish with the rear right side angle. From the rear right angle, the 2026 Pontiac Judge GTO concept reveals its final expression of design symmetry and aggression. The lighting signature wraps beautifully around the body, connecting the rear identity with the side profile seamlessly. You can see how the aerodynamic flow channels converge toward the back, managing air like a carefully controlled storm. The bodywork here feels sculpted by wind itself. The stance is wide, stable, and unshakable. The exhaust design on this side feels even more prominent, emphasizing performance presence. The tires sit deeply under the fenders, giving the impression that the car is gripping the ground with absolute authority. And as the camera slowly pulls away, the entire machine stands still in silence once again. But the silence is deceptive, because you know the moment it awakens, it will not move gently. It will explode into motion with the spirit of a true legend reborn. This is not just a concept, it is a statement, a fusion of heritage and future, a machine that carries the name Judge GTO into a new era, where power, design and emotion exist as one. But the story does not end here. As the night deepens, the studio lights begin to fade, and the machine is left alone in darkness. Suddenly a subtle ignition sound breaks the silence. The dashboard flickers alive, the ambient lights pulse once, then again, like a heartbeat returning to life. The engine does not fully roar yet, but it breathes. A low vibration spreads through the floor. The tires slightly shift as if the car is preparing itself. Every system inside the 2026 Pontiac Judge GTO concept awakens in sequence. Electronics, performance mapping, stability control, and power distribution. It is not just starting, it is coming online like a living organism. Then a final message appears across the dashboard screen. Judge mode activated. And in that moment, everything changes. The calm disappears. The silence becomes tension. The machine is no longer just a concept sitting still. It feels aware, focused, and ready. The entire body seems to tighten, like a predator locking onto its target, and just before the scene ends, the engine finally releases a deep, explosive roar, one that echoes through the studio like a shockwave of raw American muscle reborn in a futuristic body. The camera fades out slowly. Scout automobile welcome to back,